We'll find out if we're live or not. I think we're live. How you doing? Welcome to one of the smallest, most insignificant channels on all of YouTube. It's called Stock Markets with Bruce, and I'm your guy, Uncle Bruce. Welcome to the flashy show that I like to put on Monday to Friday. If you're coming here for fireworks and exciting graphs and incredible this and that, I don't know how to do that stuff. It's not my thing. What if you are looking though to make money in the market, you want to become richer in the stock market, I would suggest you hang around here. I'm kind of like, I would say I'm exactly like, I'm like a high school teacher that you remember way back when you went to school, and hopefully I'm your favorite high school teacher that tells you what's really going on, where the administration, the principal and the vice principal and the other people, they want me to give you the message from the student, the parent teacher council, and I'm the teacher that tells you what's really happening and how it's going to affect your life. I'm the guy that tries to tell you in the stock market what the hell is going on, what does it mean, and why you want to do this versus doing that. That's how I describe what I do. People ask me, well, you have a YouTube channel, that's pretty cool. What do you do? And I go, well, I sit on a chair behind a dining table in front of a computer. It's dark outside because I'm at the moment in the West Coast time zone. It's 5:34 where I am in the morning. It's dark as hell out there because we just moved our clocks forward, so it's another hour longer until daylight. And I sit here and view the world activities and try to relate that to the stock market of North America, and then I try to tell my viewers how they can make money in the market once you understand it. And the key way, the absolute 95% way to really make money in this market is to not be in the market, is to be an option writer, a stock option writer. So you're following the market, you're aware of the market, you you find a few stocks that you really like to follow and you're a fan of perhaps, but you make your money off of these stocks by not owning the stocks at all. You just write options and option strategies on the stocks. That is the secret to success. My most successful clients, or viewers, I call them clients because I can't get that word out of my head, being an ex-stockbroker from the 1980s and being a branch manager in the 80s and a VP of a brokerage firm. Took a company public once and ran that for a few years. And I've lived in the Cayman Islands for a couple of years. I was in offshore finance for a while, and on and on, all my experience, 45 years of it, again. I see you watching me. I see the meter running as more and more of you are joining in to watch me this morning, and I view you. I try to keep saying to myself, you're viewers, you are viewers, but many of you viewers have been here for a while, and you have become members of my channel, become mostly gold bank members, which is the stamp of approval for this channel versus just a regular member. And you've also taken a number of my lessons that I've issued that are available down here on my website to learn how to become a stock option writer. And so I kind of refer to you as clients, because as you make money in the market, you definitely let me know how you're doing, good and bad and in between. And I keep getting more and more of you coming to me saying, at the beginning, I wasn't sure what I was doing because it was all news to me. It was all new to me. I really wasn't aware of it. But I got more comfortable at it, and within 3 months of being with you and learning how to write options, I started writing options, and I cannot believe how easy this is. I actually can't believe it's this simple and this lucrative. And so I'm very excited for so many of you out there, even in this crap market we're watching right now, absolute garbage of a market that is going to go lower overall. And you're making money in this market. And many of you are probably lower in your market values. Your account values have gone down in the last few weeks. Whose hasn't? But you've probably noticed that, yeah, I'm down about 4% or 6%, but the market is off much more than that. Or certain stocks you follow have dropped in value dramatically, but the value that you have, the actual cash value of your position, hasn't changed that much, because you're actually a person who sold shares in say SoFi or GameStop or Rocket Lab or Nvidia or Apple or Microsoft, and you turn around and wrote cash secured puts, and you brought in a whack of cash, a ridiculous amount of capital for contracts that were way overpriced or had a lovely premium to them, a time premium. And you're sitting there like this going, well, I'm sitting here with cash in my account earning interest on it. I have figured out, depending on the firm you have, some of you are hauling interest in on your entire cash positions. Some of you are hauling in interest on your premium positions. And some of you have figured out that while Fidelity pays interest on cash balances, so-and-so doesn't. So wherever I'm dealing with, Bruce, what I've done to bring interest in on a monthly basis is I have acquired monthly interest payable ETFs that track the bond market, for example. And some of you are hauling in 7-8% yields, annual yields, 7-8% payable every month. 1/12 of that, 7-8%. And some of you folks are telling me, Uncle Bruce, I'm hauling in $1,000 a month in interest, $2,000 a month in interest. I'm hauling in $4,000 a month in interest, $50,000 a year in interest on the cash I'm sitting on, because I got out of the market, just like you said. You said back in October, November, get out, get out, get out. I'm telling you, get out. The markets are hitting new all-time highs. Get the hell out and write cash secured puts. And also, for those of you who needed cash flow to be able to quit your day job, you wanted to get away from your job because you felt there might be layoffs coming soon. Back in, remember, November, December, this isn't long ago. There were those of you saying, yeah, I'm kind of worried about my firm cutting back. My brother-in-law and my friends and people I know, I've heard layoffs happening in their companies. It's getting closer. I want out of my job because I'd really rather be self-employed and not have to be worrying about whether I have a job or not next month or whatever. And so you've started to write credit spreads. You're hauling in these short-term trades. You're doing these weekly trades, 3-day contracts, 6 days, 12 days, 20 days, where you are bringing in capital on a consistent basis by writing call credit spreads. It's early. Hang in there with me. Call credit spreads, where you're bringing in cash and watching contracts expire and shrink to virtually nothing. And you're either walking away once you've cleared a 50, 60, 70% margin of profit, or you're letting them die entirely because there's such short fused contracts that you're finding that every 10 to 14 days you're writing another batch of call credit spreads. And if you follow me on a consistent basis, you know that I have been pleading with you, begging you, take the classes on how to write credit spreads and move into call credit spreads on those magnificent 7 stocks, because this will not stop for quite some time. There is no hope, zero, not a chance, no way in hell that the magnificent 7s are going to hit new all-time record highs anytime in 2025. They're never going to do it. And it's a simple reason. Half of the business of these magnificent 7s, up to half, is done overseas. Only half of their business is conducted in the United States. The other half of their sales is global. There's no one country that is a global dominant, maybe one here, one there, but generally speaking, Canada, the UK, all of the European Union, which makes up 23 countries, Asia, Africa, South America, Latin America, Caribbean, these guys are global players. And what is happening and what is beginning to happen now in the market, in the stock market, with the Dow off 500 points right now, is a lot of American investors and investors in American stocks, and they don't have to be in the USA, they're everywhere, have had the Will Smith dope slap, whack, get nailed. They got nailed with the Will Smith dope slap. And they figured out that these tariffs that are being instituted by the United States president, the administration division of the government of the United States, is backfiring on the U.S. economy and on the economy and the performance, the economic performance of publicly traded companies that do international business. And what's beginning to show up little by little, through little cracks and little seams, more and more people in America, in the United States, are beginning to hear and see and notice that the rest of the world is pissed off. It's not laying down and letting America do whatever it wants because it's the greatest country in the world. The president of the United States is convinced that he is king of the world and that what he says goes and that he can impose tariffs and make America great again. What he doesn't get, doesn't want to get, and he can't admit to it because that would be completely against his image, is that the rest of the world is saying, screw you, fatso. You and your little diaper there, it ain't going to work for us. You old man are an old man. And why they voted you in, we don't know. We care, but we don't know. But we're not laying down and going to be your little whipping boy. It ain't going to happen. What we're going to do is put in tariffs against your goods and your services that you're bringing into our country. We're going to make it so miserable for American exporters. And these guys were all at your inauguration. Because you see, the thing about the rest of the world that certain people don't understand in the United States, the rest of the world takes a look at photos and videos of the inauguration in Washington, and they notice that in the front freaking row of the administration coming in were all the Magnificent Seven companies and a whole bunch of other high-end, very expensive, valued corporations that, unfortunately for the Trump administration, that what they can't get through their skulls is that half the business they do is international business. Now, you might have a U.S. company with an excellent relationship with Canadians, with a Canadian subsidiary company with an office in Toronto or Yorkville or Mississauga or Montreal, or Calgary or Vancouver. There's an excellent relationship between the U.S. parent and Canadian subsidiary company doing business in Canada. The problem is not that relationship. The problem is that the U.S. corporation is trying to sell goods into Canada to Canadians or to Britain or to Europe, any country, name anyone you want. And the country's customers of the goods of the American companies, not the subsidiary employees, but the customers of the Canadian subsidiary, the British subsidiary, the Irish subsidiary, the French subsidiary, those customers are pissed off and they're not buying the goods. And so look at Tesla as your number one example. Your first exhibit for the defense is Tesla. Look at Tesla's sales in various countries around the world and note how they are getting the crap kicked out of them in sales. And it's only going to get worse. It is not getting better. It's not a 1 week pullback and it's a little, oh, well, we're upset at Tesla, and so we're going to decide to buy Tesla 6 months from now. No, they're walking away and buying another brand entirely. And that means a sale lost for a decade because people don't buy cars for 1 year. People don't buy cars for a year and a half. People now buy cars using credit. Credit now? A typical car loan? Do you know how long typical car loans are? You see them. They're 7, 8 years. There's a lot of people walking away from American goods and services at every level, from cheap goods to more expensive goods, globally, because the image being portrayed of the United States to the media of the rest of the world is the message that the Trump administration wants them to see. Mr. Tough Guy telling the world that if you don't play ball with us, it's going to be very bad for you. And the rest of the world is going, oh yeah? We don't think so, boy. We don't think so. Put your diaper back in your pants and get out of my face. I don't want to deal with you guys. I'm sorry, Americans, if I'm making you angry, okay? This is the outside world opinion of what's going on, and it is very evident. Just over the weekend, if you happen to notice in Canada, they've now selected a new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and the former Bank of Canada governor, the former Bank of England governor. He's now the Prime Minister of Canada at the end of the week, I guess. In his acceptance speech, when he got 85% of the vote to replace Trudeau, he said the tariffs that we have put on American goods will remain in place no matter what Trump says, whatever he delays, whatever games he's playing. None of these tariffs are being taken off the table. All of them will stay. We're not exempting anything until all of the tariffs are off the table from the U.S. side. Well, that's unacceptable to the Trump administration. That would be in his face a slap. And that's what the Canadian Prime Minister is saying to the American Prime Minister. The Canadians are going, yeah, we're not even going to buy this stuff. You can import it all you want into Canada. We're not going to buy it. And so tariffs have hit. And so Canadians now notice that, the cost of U.S. goods have gone up. All kinds of food items and whatever. We're just going to buy Canadian. We're going to buy Costa Rican. We're going to buy Peruvian. We're going to buy Mexican-made food. We're going to buy European food, Asian food. We'll just avoid certain brands, and that'll be the end of that for now, because our diets aren't dominated by the United States. Anyway, it's part of our diet, but we can avoid this for quite some time. And now the business sector is buying into this plan. For Americans, the bad news is there will be layoffs. There are going to be job losses that Americans didn't think would happen, especially the right-leaning American voter who blindly is following Diaper Boy to wherever he wants to go. They are following him blindly to the abyss, and they are going to figure out in the next few months, this isn't working. This isn't really working very well. And the unofficial countdown to this madness is now down to about 21 months. 21 months more of this nonsense will have to be tolerated. Midterms. Once the midterms are over and the Republicans lose the House and they lose the Senate, and they will, because they are pissing off all their Americans, the Democrats will take over. They'll be fractured, but they'll be the dominant side on both houses. And now the administration will be neutered, and it will be an effective lame duck administration for the last 2 years, causing all kinds of irreparable damage. Believe me, the damage is a 4-year program. You can't get rid of this guy. But the price is going to be very bad. And of course, you have to know who's going to be blamed for this by the administration. The administration is going to blame anyone else but themselves. And at the moment, you're probably noticing right now, senators on the right, congressmen from the right, and administration people on the right, they're all blaming Biden for all of this. This is all left over from the Biden administration. 4 years of a Democratic presidency is to blame for all your problems. And the folks on the right gobble it up because that's what they want to hear. The outsiders who are looking in going, you guys are self-inflicting your own cuts. You guys are screwing yourselves up. America is going AWOL on Ukraine. America has abandoned and run away from the front lines of the Ukrainians by not giving them their weapons, not giving them intelligence. They are handing the Russians Ukraine's underbelly to exploit. The Americans are perceived globally as cut and run guys. They're cutting and running, and it's the worst thing you can say to a military person. But they deep down know it, that their president is a cut and run guy, and he's not willing to stand up for America. He's willing to concede a quick win. He's looking for a quick win deal, a deal. He's looking for financial gains for his country, thinking that this is what all of his supporters really want from him. And the rest of the world is looking at America going, what's wrong with you guys? You're the United States of America. You're the most powerful country in the world, and yet you're acting like some kind of one-man show over there. And that's exactly what's happening. The media in the United States, unfortunately for many Americans, has gone very much to the right. Even traditional media that will be objective are afraid to report what they are seeing and what's really going on. And so you've got a lot of dominant press leaning one direction. And those on the right who want that press are getting it and are loving life, absolutely loving it. Unfortunately, they're oblivious to the outside world's, what's the word I'm looking for? The outside world's reaction to what's been going on, and it's not impressed. The outside world is not respecting it, and they're not buying into it. And many Americans are not getting that message. Now, on this channel, you're getting the message because there's a Canadian telling you what he thinks is going on. But hey, many of you don't like what I have to say, and so many of you unsubscribed from my channel and you've run away. You've already cut and run. And whatever you're doing, you're doing. God bless you. If you want to make money in this stock market, though, you want to make money in this market, you better understand just everything I've said and understand what the rest of the world is thinking about, because this is exactly why the markets are lower. People always asking everybody, why is the market going up today? Why is the market going down today? Why is the Dow down almost 500 points this morning? Why is the S&P off 80 points? Why is the NASDAQ market under 20,000? Why is it off 333 points? Why is it that there's no dip where we can buy the dip and we get this 2,000 point rally for 2 weeks? Why aren't we getting this? Because this is what we've been told was supposed to happen by the Wall Street guys. The right-leaning Wall Street guys were telling us 2 weeks ago, time to buy the dip. 2 weeks ago, Wall Street was saying, this is a great time to buy NVIDIA stock. This is a great time to buy Tesla stock. There are analysts coming out with all kinds of price projections on U.S. companies that are way higher than where they're trading at right now. They see brighter days ahead. There are American investors are asking, why isn't it moving up my 401k? Why am I not making money on the stocks that I own? I don't get it. And my job is to tell them and the rest of you out there are more sellers than buyers. That's the first answer I'll give you. And the sellers are those on the outside looking in going, oh, this is ugly. This is ugly, man. The Tesla shares are in trouble. The NVIDIA shares are not reacting very well. This is like ungood. Like there's good and not good. This is ungood. SoFi at 12.17, down 42 cents, getting sucked along in this vortex. GameStop down 60 cents. Tesla sitting here at 250, 280, down 987 this morning. That's not good. NVIDIA sitting at 109.76, down 296 a share. That can't be good. Apple shares 236, a little lower. Microsoft now at 387. How can any of this be good for the market? Well, it isn't good for the market, and it's not going to be good for the market. Period. American stocks were way overpriced 2 months ago, 3 months ago at the end of the year when we were hitting those last all-time record highs. After the election came and everyone thought that the president was the greatest thing for the stock market and had the rally, and then it stumbled and then had another rally, and now it stumbled and it stumbled and it stumbled. And now all of a sudden issues are beginning to show up. And the outside world is caught on. The outside world is reading the tea leaves going, how can this be good for earnings? How in the world can Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, NVIDIA, how can these guys have record revenues coming in if half of their businesses are done? Half the business they do is offshore. It's not in America. It's outside America. How in the world are these guys going to have record profits with their goods being nailed with 25% tariffs and worse in every country they want to do business in? How's this? Even if only half the countries in the world put on tariffs, and if it only means a 3% shortfall of revenue for Apple, this monster $3+ trillion machine that will make money anyway. They'll make money, but they won't meet their projected numbers, and they'll have to reduce their estimates for net profits. How can that be good for the stock? Apple can buy back all the stock it wants, up to 5% a year, and they are. But if the net return, the earnings per share drop by 15%, you're going to have a problem out there, a real problem out there. And that could be a 15% drop in the stock price. Just on that, it could be 30% drop on the stock price. Remember, I keep telling you guys that the markets trade on a PE multiple, a price earnings multiple. The Magnificent Sevens are not cheap stocks. They're expensive stocks with high PE multiples because of high expectations of continued high profits. The problem here is that there will not be higher profits next year than last year. They're not going to match their numbers from 2 years ago. They're going to have drops. The question is how bad and how long. And this administration just took office 2 months ago. What's going to change in the next 2 or 3 months? The rhetoric, the vitriol, the whatever? No. And America is in turmoil right now. I mean, half of America is in turmoil against another half of America. There's a whole bunch of Americans waking up today going, I didn't know that once Trump got back in, I was not aware that what's happening now with layoffs and people being let go of their job would actually be on the table. I didn't realize that a bloated civil service meant that my state would get the crap kicked out of it, because I didn't realize that my state was so dependent on the United States federal government for its survival and existence. I thought that my country was made up of entrepreneurs and free-thinking Americans wanting to do just business. And I thought that government was sucking the life out of free enterprise. Although the market went up 25% 2 years in a row under Joe Biden, that was socialistic numbers that you can't trust those. Let's talk about the real America here. Well, all of a sudden, there are Americans going, wait a minute. If you kill the education department and you lay off half the IRS and you knock off the transportation department and cut it back, and you eliminate the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and you restrict the health department, and Homeland Security is different. I mean, the only department that is getting any money is the Defense Department, and they've been told to lay people off. This doesn't add up. I wasn't told this in the campaign at all. I was just told to wear this red hat and let's just make America great again. I didn't realize it would mean this economic hardship would be self-inflicted. And this is the shocker to most Americans, is that it's a self-inflicted wounds. It's not like, Britain is causing the education department to disappear in the United States. You can't blame the EU on that. You can't blame Africa. Can't blame China because the civil aviation administration is losing people. It's not China doing that. It's America. America doing it to itself. And this has gained huge momentum on the far, far right. And there are people who are going, I didn't vote for those people's priorities. I voted for my priorities. Well, your priorities are not their priorities. And right now, the far right are taking over. and they're not going to go back ever. They keep yelling at their guys, keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing, don't stop what you're doing. This is our chance to take control of all these agencies and bring them down to size, and we'll make everything great again. Okay, well, the tariff game is the knife in the back for a lot of people out there who are not affiliated with government. A lot of Americans are going to get layoff notices starting 3 to 6 months from now, and all through this presidency. There are going to be gazillions of layoffs of people who had no idea that their careers would be on the line because their corporation that they're dealing with, 30% of their sales are overseas sales. And when a company loses half of 30% of their sales, which is 15% of their overall sales, this cuts into the bottom line of a corporation like you cannot believe. And the first casualties of these kinds of corporations are layoffs, because cost cutting. And where do you cost cut? You get rid of the 50-year-olds and over. You get rid of those antiques because you don't want healthcare issues in your company. You only want the young kids. You get rid of the students, brand new hires, because they can be dumped anytime you want. And then you squeeze the rest of them to death. And you start laying off 20-year veterans of your corporation. They cost you a lot of money. You get rid of those people and replace them with contract workers. And so the entire accounting division over here, or this marketing department over there, or this department over here, will now be contracted out to outside corporations that will do the work at a set price on a contract basis. And it allows corporations to walk away from 401k considerations, walk away from healthcare issues, walk away from anything to do with additional costs other than straight price per contract only. And that is the future staring a lot of people in the face. If you're here and you've learned how to write stock options, you've gone to my website right over there and you've picked up lessons on how to write stock options, all of this can be avoided. All of this uncertainty can be avoided. You can now literally flourish while others suffer. I don't like saying it that way, but that's the truth. When people make money in the market, someone is losing money in the market. Now, is it a 1-to-1 ratio, or is it a one person made $1 billion this year and 5 million people each lost a couple of $100 so that this one made $1 billion? It doesn't matter. When it comes to option writing, viewers of this channel bring money in from the market. 5 trillion a week is turning over in the options market, 5 trillion a week. And you're getting your fair share of dough out of the market. And if you want to quit your day job, or you want to retire earlier and live off your own means, and or you want to build your value of your 401k, your RRSP, whatever retirement plan you're self-managing, you want to build that, option writing is the excellent way to do it. And whether you're writing covered calls on stocks that are holding or slumping or free falling, that's one way to do it. Whether you're writing cash secured puts where you've sold out, you've got out of the market like I've been begging you to, and you've written cash secured puts instead, and are sitting on a mountain of cash and added a mountain of cash on top of it from the premiums of writing puts, and you're now hauling in interest on all of that cash, or as much of it as possible. Excellent move. Or for those of you who need cash flow, you are writing call options that die this week, next month, or you're writing call credit spreads or put credit spreads or iron condors that have days, weeks, or a month or two to go. And you're extracting capital out of those on a consistent basis. If you're writing call credit spreads on the Magnificent Seven, I congratulate each and every one of you, because this is your game for the rest of the year. The Magnificent Sevens are not going to hit new record highs this year. It's not going to happen. There will be downgrades coming up. That's the next phase of this market. You're going to start to hear stories about company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that will come out to shareholders with their first or second or third quarter results, and then they will admit that, well, the third quarter won't be as good as we thought it was, or it'll be just a little behind what we thought it would be. And that's going to tank the markets. There's no forgiving a slight miss in this market because too many stocks have been priced at absolute perfection, which means overpriced for what they're worth for years. And this is this dot-com bubble talk you hear about from time to time. And many of you don't know what that means because you weren't an adult when the dot-com bubble market took place, 1998 to 2001. If you are 40 years of age in 2025, you were 15, you were 13 when the dot-com bubble burst. And you weren't working, you weren't playing the market, you were 13 years old. Think about what you were doing when you were 13 years old. If you're 50 years old, you were 20 to 25 range in age when the dot-com bubble burst. What it meant to you then, perhaps, was the loss of a part-time job, or you found out that an older sibling of yours lost their job in a dot-com company. Maybe a parent, maybe a distant relative. If you're over 55, like me, you were very much an adult at that time. You were in your late 20s and 30s or older, depending how old you are, and you remember it very well. That's where the NASDAQ went from 5,000 to 1,000. The NASDAQ lost 80% of its value over 3 years. You want to talk about a market pullback? That's what the dot-com bubble was. Stocks were trading at PE multiples unimaginable in today's market. They were certainly completely unimaginable back then, but the justification at that time was back in the 90s, stocks like Amazon and Cisco and Microsoft and all the up-and-comer high-tech companies, the thinking was these companies are trading at high multiples because they're going to grow their earnings into their stock values, and they're reinvesting in their businesses and growing out their businesses. Other companies were like IBM at that time were saying, we've got too many shares outstanding. These PE multiples are insane. Ours are up as well, but not as insane as others. We're going to buy back our stock. We're going to buy back our stock so that we made more money this quarter than last quarter, which is great. But we're going to add to that performance by buying up stock off the street so that we have fewer shares to divide our earnings into, and we'll have an even higher performance for our shares over all the competition, because we're in competition here with dot-com startup companies that don't make money, are not projected in the next year or 2 or 3 to make any money whatsoever. They're being funded by Wall Street dreamers and venture capitalists out of California for a 5 to 10 year future that someday will come when everything will be wonderful and the markets will just go nuts. The problem, of course, with that argument was companies only had enough money to last 1 or 2 years. They didn't have enough money to last 10 years to get through those early stages. They had no money to gobble up competition and gather up market share and become the dominant player. And so we ended up with 90% of the dot-com companies going under. They all ran out of money and they couldn't get any more, and they all disappeared. And 1 in 10 survived or was gobbled up by somebody else. And so by 2005 and 6, you look at what dot-com companies were left in the world, and it was one sliver of what it once was. And then to add insult to injury, 2007 rolls around, 2008, 2009, and what do we have? A full-blown financial crisis created by Wall Street on the rest of the planet. And who bailed out Wall Street? The United States government. Who bailed out the dot-com bubble? Nobody. The government didn't put a dime into the dot-com bubble to revive anybody. They were left to die. And that was the retail investor. For an big extent, retail investors got the shellac kicked out of them. Huge institutional investors had 5 and 10 and 15% of their money into the dot-com world, but they had 80-85% of their money into the big Dow 30, S&P 500 leaders which were companies with cash flow and earnings and profits and stock buybacks. But 7 and 8 and 9, 2007, 8, and 9, history wiped a bunch of those guys off the face of the earth, because now the financial crisis collapsed all kinds of outfits, including stock brokerage firms and investment bankers, and the United States government had to bail out Wall Street. That was then. This is now. It's 2025. And there's talk right now that the market, which is way overpriced, way too high on a PE multiple, is vulnerable to a massive correction. And I look at the Magnificent Seven and I see 50% cuts in their stock price as a possibility. A guarantee? No, not at all. But as a possibility, yeah. What could hold the stocks up here? The cash balance in their bank accounts. The good news for the Magnificent Seven is that they're all cash rich. The other good news for the Magnificent Seven is that as their shares back off in price, they buy up their 5% a year allocation and pick up stock and try to temper the backing off of their price. But unfortunately, their earnings will not come in enough to stop this slide in their price. That's the problem. If you're trading at 35 times earnings right now, and it's projected, let's say it's a reality, that next year you're going to do 90% of the profits you did last year, but it's only 90% next year. It's a 10% drop, okay? That puts your PE multiple back over 40, from 35 over to 40. So if the stock drops in price 10, 15%, you're still at 35% PE multiple. And if the forecast for the year after that is another 10% in drop of performance, the stock's going to have to drop another 10, 15, 20% again. And you are quickly getting to a 50% discount from your highs. And with a P multiple still at 35. This is the problem with a decreasing profit margin and a decreasing market. So how do you counteract that? You're a long-term shareholder of Apple. You'll never sell it. You keep writing call options. And the stock drops and the call options drop, and you buy those back and write another set of contracts at a lower strike, and it slowly drops and drops and drops. The premiums that you're bringing in on the shares of the options, you keep writing again and again and again, and the cash you're getting, you're buying more Apple stock to write more contracts to keep the income flow coming in. And as you back it off, the stock backs off like this, but your options back off, your balance value drops off much slower. And any kind of turnaround on the stock going forward, you started with 1,000 shares of Apple. By the time it bottomed out, you've got 1,800 shares of Apple, and 10% bounce back for a year down the road. You've added 10% value to 1,800 shares instead of 1,000 shares, and you're rolling your contracts forward, and you're still bringing income in, and you're the winner. Because if the shares go, quote, back to where they came from, means it's almost a double in price from the lows to where they go. Say the stock was 250 and they got to 125, and your average is 150 with all the buying you've done, and the stock was back to 250, you didn't make $100 on your 1,000 shares. No, you're up $100 a share on your 1,800 shares. You really won. Where anyone who was just a shareholder of the company held 1,000 shares, saw it go down to 125 and saw it come back to 250, and they've broken even over 3 years, 4 years. They've lost inflation, they've lost years of performance, and they are no further off than they were. They're actually behind where they were 3 years ago. They haven't broken even. The stock has to go to 300 for them to break even. Inflation. Where in your case, they go from 125 back to 250 and then to 300 because they keep growing, and now inflation has brought it back to really where it was 3-4 years ago, and you've got 1,800 to 2,000 shares now. You are the retiree that is far more comfortable. And or you quit your day job a long time ago. This is just common sense strategy, I believe, that option writers, conservative option writers, should be utilizing at all times. Welcome to the party, pal. This is the channel where you can make money in a falling market. This is a channel where you can limit your losses dramatically in a falling market. This is the channel where you can write call credit spreads on Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, Google, Facebook, you name it. You want to name a bunch of S&P 500 stocks? Go ahead. The top 100 of those. As long as the option market has liquidity, you can take a look at call credit spread writing. And you can certainly look at the Magnificent Seven and the SPYs and the Triple Qs for weekly or monthly write positions, credit positions, where you're writing out of the money contracts that will die to zero even if the shares don't move over the next week or two or three or four. Stock can go down and come back to where it was, and you're still laughing all the way to the bank. Stock can rise, and you're still going to win because the contracts you're writing are so far out of the money, they haven't got a chance. They don't have a chance to have of any value when they expire. And in your case, you may have a self-imposed rule that says as soon as I'm up 30 to 70%, somewhere in that range, I'm up 50% on my option trade, I take my profit. I just take it off the table and I write a new set of call credit spreads for a week or two or three out for this kind of return. And as soon as I make 50% on that trade, I'm out of that trade. And you stick to that game plan, you will do extremely well. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the channel where you can make money around here, but you better know what the hell you're doing. And if you have taken the time to pick up some classes off my website and you've been here long enough, or you've asked me for a one-on-one to say, Bruce, I've taken 6 of your classes, I've opened up a practice account, I've been doing that, I've started to do some trading, I now want to talk to you about some more specific transactions that pertain to me and my world, then look me up for a one-on-one. Just send me an email and we'll get together. Thank you for joining me. We're down 470 right now on the Dow Jones, 1.13%. S&P is down 81 points. That's 1.4%. And NASDAQ is now down 340 points, which is 1.67%, 1 2/3% lower on the session with about 11 minutes to go before we open for the day. Welcome to the party, pal. Crude oil is up 13 cents. Nothing to get excited about over there. Gold is down $1 an ounce. Thank you for popping in. I've got a poll question for you today. If you want to check it out, love to get your thoughts on this. 138 of you now have voted in on this poll question. Basically, I'm asking you, or basically I'm making a statement here that my investment accounts have done a lot better than the markets because I write options. All right. So if you've written options, how are you doing? Are you doing better than the market is doing, or aren't you? 64% say yes, I'm doing a lot better than the markets because I write options. 36% saying no. Maybe that answer is due to the fact that some of you have written call options and can only write call options in, say, 401k, IRA, self-administered RRSPs in Canada, that kind of thing, and you're sort of stuck. You can only do call option writing, and you're finding that you're losing money overall because the value of your account is lower because you hold a bunch of stock in a bunch of companies, and you're writing calls on these, but they're not making up the losses. They're making up some of the losses. That's possible. I understand that. But again, option writing can be a very beneficial long-term strategy because when markets fluctuate down or up and down or up, you will constantly bring in capital from option writing because they do have an expiry date and they have to be turned over to another series. And the longer you continue to write contracts and never stop writing, the end game is you're going to be a winner by taking in more income from the market that could let you to pay bills or pay off debts or compensate or subsidize your lifestyle because your paycheck doesn't do it. Or you've added to your retirement account, you've added wealth to your pension fund, your 401k, RSP, and any kind of recovery in the market 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, however long it takes, wherever and whenever it goes, is when you really win. So this poll question is a today question. I understand it. And you're answering it today. And you're saying to me, well, yeah, my account is down in value. Even though I'm an option writer, I'm still losing money in the market, the overall, Well, when stocks take a hit, it affects everybody. That's the bottom line. And sometimes stocks go down because other stocks go down. And we have to remind ourselves that it's all connected to one big picture. And there's fear and greed in the market, and there's more fear today than greed. And there it is. Now, when the market becomes oversold, the so-called dip, there will be one. But I don't know where that is. I don't know if that is around here or if that's another couple of thousand points away from here. Is it a 30% further drop in everything before that is the bottom? I don't know. But in the meantime, option writers take in money. That's the bottom line. You take in money and you keep working your money. And if you've done, I believe, the best you can do with regards to liquidating out and now only managing cash as your major asset, especially those of you who want out of your day jobs, you quit your day jobs, you left your firm because they offered you a buyout, they offered you an early retirement package and you took it, and now you're managing your retirement package to stay retired. You've come to the right place. You're hanging out with the right people here. Thank you again for all of you for joining in. Hopefully I haven't made too many of you angry, but it's inevitable. Any channel, no matter how small, including my puny little channel, will upset someone, no matter what I say or think or whatever I proclaim as my opinion, but that's okay. It is what it is. We're going member only right now on commentary. I want to thank all of you who have joined this channel as members. You guys are the best. Of course, if you are a Gold Bagel viewer, you're a member of this channel at that level. You are in the penthouse of this channel. I thank you all so very much. I welcome you all to the program, and my hunch is that the only reason you've become Gold Bagel members is because you're making money. You're making money because of this channel. And for those of you who just don't get it, you just don't understand it, how can it be that an old man with whatever hair he has left, and most of it is white, how can a guy like that make people money in this market? Because he has nothing fancy. He doesn't have any fancy graphs. He doesn't have any fancy quotes going by. All he talks about is writing options and reacting to the market forces, and then he talks about these lessons all the time. How can they take that? How can they tolerate this guy? Well, until you learn how to make money, you'll never know. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme kind of channel, you're sorely disappointed around here. But I'll tell you this, there have been people here who've joined this channel who thought, I'm looking for a get-rich-quick thing. That's what I really want. They somehow get referred to me. Maybe they're into NVIDIA, and they were looking up NVIDIA something, and somehow the algorithm popped up my channel as an option. Why don't you watch this guy? He talks about NVIDIA. And they join me, and they just go, I'll listen to him. I'm tired of surfing YouTube. I'll just listen to him for a while. There have been people who have joined this channel over the years by accident, and they've never heard the term option writing for income. They've never heard that term, because you don't learn this in school. You don't learn this in college. I guarantee you there is no college in the United States that I know of. I don't know of a college in the United States that teaches option strategies. I don't. You would think there would be, wouldn't you? I mean, there are colleges in the United States that teach brain surgery, and they teach becoming a medical doctor, and they teach about how to become a lawyer. They teach how to become a professor. They teach how to become a chemist, but they don't teach option strategies. And I kind of know the answer why that is. Why would someone be a professor at a university to teach kids how to be option strategists and make millions of dollars when they could just do it themselves? I mean, doesn't that make sense? I mean, why would the professor stand in front of 300 snot-nosed, spoiled brats that, half of them got admitted for free and the other half are borrowing money to be there, and they hate the position they're in, and some are hopeful, but many are just kind of going through the motion, and they're drunk with hangovers. And why would a successful option strategy specialist want to do that and talk to those kids? I mean, really, what's the inspiration there? They'd be better off doing what I'm doing. Just have a YouTube channel, tell their 100 or 200 followers what they're about. I've got myself a class of 239 people here right now, and just spew my philosophy and offer courses and get paid for it, and not have to deal with the board of whatever at the university, or the dean of whatever here, and all the politics, and right. And I don't have to worry about parents and students coming to me begging for a better grade on their paper because they were ill and they weren't feeling well and they were busy, and my uncle died, and that, I need more time. I don't need that crap. Why would I want to do? There you go. Maybe that's why there's no one teaching this. Okay, so people have followed me here, come in going, you're the only guy talking about this stuff. I can't find anyone else on YouTube that talks about how to write options and make money. I just find guys on YouTube telling me how to buy options to make money, get the leverage, and control thousands of shares of stock for just a little bit of money. These are all long shot bets. These are lottery ticket guys. I mean, there's a ton of lottery ticket promoters out there. And here's this guy talking about, take the opposite, be the casino, be the guy selling the lottery tickets. Those are the people that make money with every draw. Do you know that the Powerball, when it hits $1 billion or $2 or $3, the biggest winners are the merchants selling the tickets? Have you ever figured that out? Because people are standing in line for 20, 30, 40 minutes to buy lottery tickets, and then they buy a bag of chips, and then they buy a pop, and they figure, oh, I need batteries. I forgot. They'll buy some batteries while they're waiting in line to buy their lottery tickets. It's the merchants that make them, the casinos. It's the lottery foundations, the state-run lottery houses. They're the ones making the dough. Most people lining up to play the lottery are losers. They know they're going to lose money. I mean, it's not even a guess. It's an automatic. Option buyers are losers. Most of the time, they're complete, absolute losers. Why would you want to be in that crowd? Well, again, I say for every one of me, there must be 100 other channels that talk to you about how you can buy options and get rich. Knock yourself out, kids. Find your lottery. I don't know. Anyway, here it is. Learn how to write options, get rich on this side of the market for the rest of your life. The thing about option buying is it's a once in a while, hope it works out thing. Option writing, you do forever, every day for the rest of your life. Larry Titus, thank you for doing what you do so well every day, ringing the bells to tell the world that this market is up and running, and we're now trading here for money, not for fun, for money. Welcome all of you to the show, and I just want to see you guys get absolutely rich and richer and richer. I just want you to make money. It's nothing personal. I'm not here to turn you into a socialist or a Democrat or a Republican or a communist or a conservative or a labor union party. None of that. I just want you to make money. That's all. Markets never lie. Remember this. If you're going to remember anything about what I talk about, the market never lies. The market tells you what's really going on. And today, and right now this morning, the market is saying that Diaper Boy in the White House, they're not too happy with this guy. They're not happy with what he's up to. And the market is saying it right here, right now. And I don't care who you love, hate, believe, follow, worship. The market is what you better be watching. Don't just listen to me. Check it out. JJ, the lottery is often known as the stupid tax. There you go. Neat. Here come the knee emojis from the followers of this channel. 246 only here this morning. If the market were up 400 points, there would be 346 people here this morning. And if the market were up 1,500 points right now, and GameStop was up $5 a share, and SoFi was up $3 a share, there'd be 446 people here. this morning. But there's only 246 here, make it 251, because the markets are down, and people hate it when the markets are down. But again, those are the gamblers. The gamblers hate today. They're hating this. They're licking their wounds like you can't believe. They thought for sure Friday was a rally that was just going to take off, and the market was going to have this big run this week because we're so oversold. The dip of dips. Not actually going on at the moment. Now, could the market turn around later today and go green? Sure it can. Yeah, of course it can. There could be some bloodletting, and then we have a turnaround. Sure. Will it? Well, there's every down day has an update. Well, sometimes there's 20 down days and only one up day, and 20 more down days, and then a couple of up days. I don't know. We're good. We'll be fine. Ouch, Tesla under 500, but good for my September 285 covered calls. Are they? Is it really doing that? Tesla right now, what's it actually doing? It's 248, so it's under 250. There you go. Touch grass. I've seen dips, but this ain't it. Double D. I'm still here, but I'm really busy, Bruce. I am here. Lisa. Oh yeah, sorry. You know what I'm talking about. 250 a share on the Tesla. Yeah, well, here we are. Let's keep an eye on things as we slowly get this market opened up here and we'll get the quotes going through. We are negative to start the day, that's for sure. I see SoFi at like $12 right now. I see ASTS at 3206. I've got Rocket Lab at 1775 right now. GameStop at 2337. AI at 2169. All of them are red. I've got Super Micro Computer up 16 cents. Now it's up 8. It's hanging in there. NVIDIA down $3 at 109.68. Tesla down 14.80. The spiders are down 9.31. The triple Qs are now down 10.45. Palantir is down 4.36. MSTR MicroStrategy down $25 a share. Costco down $8.40 at 9.55.91. Coinbase down $15. I've got Google down $7, Apple down $7, Broadcom down $5.30, Microsoft down $8, $8.20, Intel down 33 cents, Netflix down $26.81 to $8.65. Netflix has had a $200 backing off here, 20%. That's quite telling. Now, Facebook, Meta Platforms, 605.96. That's down 1970. High of the 52-week high, 741. There's a $136 pullback on Facebook, a company that makes money, trading at 25 times earnings right now, if the earnings hold. And there is the question. Will Facebook a year from now, in the next 4 quarters, equal the net profit of the previous 4 quarters they've just had? That would mean if the shares stay where they are and the earnings are the same, they would be at a 25 times PE multiple, which is still historically too high. Should be in the upper teens. However, if the company has just a 5% pullback on results, they produce profits 5% lower than the last 4 quarters combined, for the next 4 quarters combined, this stock is going to be trading at 31 times earnings. It's too high. So there you go. You're priced for perfection. You pay the price when you don't outperform the expectant market. And that is where we're at now, right now already. And a lot of these very good quality leaders of the free capitalistic world, the Magnificent Seven, are priced and had been priced to perfection. And they've already lost up to 20%. They've already lost the first 20%. That was the froth that no one thought would happen. No one thought when Trump got elected that would be going on. They didn't think electing this guy would mean a 20% wiping off the top of the value of the Magnificent Seven could be as much as 20% or more in, 2 months? What? Who would vote for that? Why would anyone vote for that kind of volatility? Right. That's a good question. Amazon right now is trading at 35 times earnings. It's down 350 a share. The Netflix shares, just so you know, are trading at 43 and a half times earnings. Even at 864, they hit 1,064 for the high. So they're down $200. That's what, 18 plus percent? And they're still at 43 times. That's more than double. They should be under 400 a share on a real PE multiple of note. This is not good. This is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Ungood. That's right. Microsoft, 31 times earnings. A little overpriced still. It's off, like I said, 790. Apple at 231 a share, 36.7 times earnings. Too high. Google down 715 a share, 20.9 times earnings. Let's call it 21 times earnings. That's one of the lowest PE multiples of the Magnificent Seven. And around 16 to 17 would be reasonable. It's not like grossly overvalued. We were grossly overvalued. The shares were 208. They were $40 higher than where they are now. So they've already come down $40 from 208. That's 20%. That was grossly overvalued. They're still overvalued if the earnings in the next year equal the earnings of the last year. If the earnings don't match or exceed last year's earnings, they are grossly overvalued because they'll get back to 30 PE multiple in a hurry. That's what the market has to worry about. That's why the market does what it does. This is why I get paid to worry when there's nothing to worry about. And this is what I was doing for you last October, November, December. After the election, during the election, I was mentioning that the markets are pretty high priced right now. And they're priced to perfection. And they don't last long when they're priced to perfection. Stocks don't last at those levels very long unless they keep exceeding the numbers beyond what anyone could ever have imagined. And when NVIDIA posted a 78% increase in earnings for last quarter, which is now 3 weeks ago, that wasn't good enough. 78% increase in earnings was not good enough for a stock priced to perfection at that time. And NVIDIA has gone from the $140 level, which wasn't an all-time high, to 110 right now. We have been 153 for the 52-week all-time high for NVIDIA, 153. We're down $43 a share. That is approaching 30+% drop. That is bear market. That is already bear market performance on NVIDIA. A company making nothing but money, can't keep up with their orders, got a backlog of trillions of dollars of business. They're going to do very well. 37.5 times earnings. They were at 50, 55 not too long ago. Fascinating, isn't it? Isn't it just amazing? Call credit spreads. There's room in them there, Hills. Now, Tesla, 246, down 1580, trading at 120 times earnings. You tell me, honestly, think to yourself, do you think that Tesla in the next year, the next 4 quarters consecutive, will make as much money as they did in the last 4 quarters? I don't think so. Do you think so? I don't think so. I think they could be at 80%, which is pretty good in a recession. But if Tesla earns just 80% of what they earned last year, that means the 120 PE multiple we're looking at right now is not accurate. It's actually more like 160 to 170 right now. Should Tesla be trading at 170 times earnings? Should it be trading at 120 times earnings? I mean, after all, they were at 200 times earnings back at the height of the market. The 52-week high for Tesla, $488. We're at 247. This is a $230 haircut. And so you think about that, that is virtually 50%, almost 50% lower. Not quite, but awful damn close. We haven't even started yet. This could go down another 50%. It could. Will it? I don't know. If you're an option writer, it's good times. If you're an option writer, it's excellent times. And what you might want to start doing as an option writer is as you close out options for a profit, write a new contract very short term. You might want to write 1 month out call options. They're out of the money. You're looking for zero, and you're targeting Tesla call options for premium. Can you get $10, $12? But you're looking for that to go to nothing because they're out of the money already. It's a premium trade. And if there's more of a back off, that'll accelerate the drop. And of course, every day going by with less than 4 weeks to go kills these contracts. And that makes you capital, allowing you to write a new one. You might buy yours back for 50% cheaper that you wrote a week ago. And now next week you write another one that's good for 3-4 weeks. Boom, you nail that one. Bring in that extra $5-10 a contract, whatever it is. A week later, stock still is faltering. Time is running out. You can buy your contract back for 40% less or 50% less than what you wrote it. You buy that one back. You write another one 3-4 weeks out. Constantly pulling another one, another one, another one. And if you're extracting $5 a week out of Tesla, $7 a week out of Tesla, as a call writer, as a shareholder / call writer, great. On the other hand, call credit spreads. Oh my God. Weekly, bi-weekly call credit spreads. There should be a ton of you telling me you're doing that. A ton of you should be on top of this. Easy peasy, nice and easy. $500 spreads, $5, $10 spreads, $2 spreads, $12 spreads, $15 spreads. You figure out what works for you. Timing, short term, ahead of the market, way up there. Look for, write 2 week out, 6 week out. If you're writing a 6 week out and you're going to close it with 4 weeks out, great. Obviously, you write a 6 week out contract and the stock drops $15 in one day. You may find that I wrote that 6 week contract call option, call credit spread last Thursday, and here we are Monday morning and we're down $25 a share already. I'm already up 50% on this trade. I'm taking my money and I'm writing a new call credit spread, 6 weeks out, different pricing. I'm taking in that 100% return yet again. Thank you very much. Hand me the money, you saps. Hand me the money. That is exactly what the lottery ticket seller is saying to you. You're handing them your tickets. They're getting 2 to 5% commission. That's all they're getting, 2 to 5% on this week's draw. Does this sound familiar to any of you writing call credit spreads? That you're hauling in 5% a week in returns? Does it ring a bell with you? You're sitting behind a lottery terminal. There's a lineup of 20 people here trying to get a $2 billion Powerball or whatever the hell it is. And they're sitting there with $20 to $50 worth of tickets they want to give you. And you take their $20 bill and give them $20 worth of tickets, run their cards through or give them quick picks or whatever those are. And you made $1 off of this one. $50, I made $2.50 off of you. Giving you $10, I just made 50 cents off of you. You're taking in 5% returns selling tickets. Every week there's a draw. Is this the greatest business of all time? They come to you to give you the money. It's cash. Cash don't bounce, or debit cards, or however you're doing it. And you're taking their bets, and it's all legal. I mean, lottery ticket runners are going, I can't believe this is legal. They're sitting on a mountain of money. They got the Brinks guys coming in to pick up their cash deposits twice a day. It's unbelievable. Cash, writing options for money. You're a casino. Take the dough off of these saps. It's your job. If you don't take it, you're leaving the money to the institutional traders. You're leaving it to the Wells Fargos, the Bank of Americas, the hedge fund operators, the life insurance companies, the pension funds and the hedge funds. But really, the image I want you to get, okay? I don't want you to be mad at Bank of America. I don't want you to be mad at State Farm Insurance or any of the life insurance companies or Geico and all these. I don't want you to be angry at these people that they're making money on option writing because they're creating the big liquidity, okay? They're writing thousands of contracts. You're writing dozens of contracts. I don't want you to be mad at those guys. I don't even want you to be upset with those people. No. You know who I want you to be upset at? I'm going to say it this way. I don't want you to be upset. I think I want you to say to yourself, I just made myself some dough. I just made myself $500 this week, $5,000 this week. $25,000 this week. I have viewers that make $50,000 a week here writing options a week. I want you to say to yourself, I'm trying to become someone to a higher level, make more money than ever before, and I want to make money instead of these the image of people you might have in your mind, I have in my mind, that are sitting on a motorized yacht in Monte Carlo, getting a tan, getting a massage on deck, but in the shade. They've got their massage chair, massage table on the deck of their yacht that's 150, 250 feet long, and they've got a professional masseuse massaging them twice, 3 times a week, and their wives, girlfriends, friends, associates, pals, friends with benefits. I don't know. I want you to think that there are people out there who are buying $30,000 purses, $5,000 pairs of shoes, usually women, well-dressed guys and gals, driving $250,000 to $1 million vehicles, living in real estate you cannot possibly fathom, traveling the world in private jets and jet helicopters to get to the private jets. These are the folks who are option writers. Now, they're not sitting in front of their terminals pushing the buttons, okay? They've hired people to do this for them, okay? But they're the ones generating this return into their pockets. I want you thinking to yourself, I just took a piece of that guy's action, or I got into the same action that guy or girl is into, and I got my pound of flesh out. And if your pound of flesh needed to get by is $5,000 a month to pay your bills, then there's the first priority in your life. $1,250 a week, $5,000 a month. Now, if I have helped you in any way through my classes here, my lesson, if I helped you with one-on-ones and you are now generating $5,000 a week on average of returns from shrinkage because of the number of contracts you're doing, you are in a world completely separated from where you started from. You were unlikely making $500,000 a year as an employee by becoming an option writer, but you're now generating $250,000 a year writing options, and you know, and I know, that number is not going to stay stagnant. That number is growing because you are compounding your return. Because to buy a loaf of bread is what, $4, $3? I don't even know what a price of loaf of bread is. I don't know. Where do you shop? Jen and I buy a half a loaf of a really nice bread in Walmart for $4.20 a loaf, half a loaf. Bagels are $6 for 6 bagels. Buck a bagel. Look, whatever it is you buy, you buy. If you're making $1,000 a week, a bagel, a 6-pack is $6 at Whole Foods. You're making $5,000 a week, 6-pack of bagels is $6. You're making $20,000 a week, a 6-pack of bagels is $6. There's no different price for you to buy bagels than me or anyone else. How much are you making to be able to afford a 6-pack or not? Or whatever it is you're using your money for. And there's no reason why you cannot honestly sit there and say to yourself, oh yeah, well, I'm only ever going to get up to a couple of thousand a month. I might make $3,000, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month. That'll probably be as good as my options will ever be for me because I'm only managing this much money. Bunk. That is BS. You are going to find that the kind of capital you're going to be bringing in as you become more proficient at this becomes incredibly insane. And this is when you realize, you know what? I don't need to be the gambler in line at the lottery machine every week. I don't need to be the sap trying to find which contract to buy to look for the big time home run ball. I don't need to be that person. I can be the person behind the counter that owns the terminal. I don't even own this damn thing. The terminal isn't mine. The terminal is by the Lottery Foundation. You happen to own this This is what you own if you paid for it, or you're buying it per month from your provider, and you're putting in these coordinates into this thing through your brokerage firm, and you're hauling in this money. How hard is this? You can take this anywhere you need to go. You're not stuck at home. For some of you, you want to be stuck at home. You like being stuck at home. This is exactly where I want to be, and this is exactly what I want to be doing. And I don't like hanging out with other people, and I don't like the BS in the coffee room at the office. I don't want to be with those people anymore. I don't want to hear about so-and-so and so-and-so and all the drama in this department or that department, or have you heard the rumor about this and that. I don't want to be with those people. I want to be in a happy place, the place that I make a happy place. My house with my kids, with my better half. We're planning on traveling. The family. The kids are out of school. We're homeschooling the kids. We can afford to homeschool the kids now. I've got a tutor coming in twice a week to help the kids with homeschooling, and then we're doing the rest of whatever it is you're doing. I don't know what you want. You figure it out. I don't know what age you are. You're running 25 to 85 to 105. I don't know. You're in control of your life. You're in control of your money. You're in control of what your money is doing for you. Welcome to the party, pal. I love the fact that you're here. I want to see you make nothing but money. Congratulations. Those of you who have figured out how to write options and say to the man, screw you, man. I'm out of here, baby. You said it quietly under your breath. You're not a confrontationalist, It's okay. I love this game, kids. Oh, I love it when you're making money. Oh my God, I love it when you guys make money. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. You're coming through for me while I'm ranting and raving and, dream building for you. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Keep the thumbs ups coming, guys. Just hit the thumbs up button for me, please. Thank you for the poll question answers. We now have 189 people talking about this, answering my comment here. The comment is, my investment accounts have done a lot better than the markets because I write options. That is the question. Are any of you doing okay? Are you not? How's it going? 63% say, yep, my accounts are better. 36%, now 64 say yes. 36% say no. Excuse me. It's about a 2-to-1, not quite, but almost a 2-to-1 ratio. Yeah, I'm doing better because I'm an option writer than anyone who isn't. Well done. Can you believe, some of you guys, I know you just are amazed by how much money you haul in from writing options. You've got to be just blown away by the fact that it never stops. You were really good, 4, 5, 6 months ago. You were bringing in, $2,000 a week, $2,500 a week was coming in, $8,000 to $10,000 a month, and then you got into that $10,000 to $12,000 a month range, and then like 2 months ago you're hauling in now $12,000 to $15,000 a month. Can you believe the fact that you can continue to keep bringing in the amount of money you're bringing in? Can you just, doesn't it blow your mind? Jen and I, back in 1982, 82, 83, 84, I think it was, for about 2 or 3 years, we actually ran a lottery booth in Calgary. We had a lottery booth, and this was Jen's part-time gig. This was a gig for Jen. This before she became a broker. This was like, 81, maybe 81 till 83, something like that. I'm trying to remember the year. Pardon me. Yeah, it was definitely like, it could have been 82, 83, 84. Anyway, we had a lottery booth at that time. And in those days, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have computers handy. Offices had them, but, clunky. They were more like word processors. And the lotteries were just coming into themselves. And this is in Canada, and we had just we purchased a lottery booth from a guy who already had one. He had 7 of them, and he wanted to kind of downsize, so he sold off this one, and so we were running this booth, and wouldn't you know it, the 649 lottery, the Canadian National Saturday night 649 lottery. It's kind of like the Powerball in the U.S. Started getting carried over, and we didn't have a winner for 1 week and then 2 weeks, and the jackpot got bigger. And after the third week, we were hitting, I think we're hitting $2 or $3 million for a payout. Now, $3 million in 1982 was today would be like 20 million bucks, maybe 25 million, 10 to 1 perhaps. And then we went another week or two, and we got up to $6-7 million on this lottery, and that's like 60 to 80 million dollars in Canada. This is tax free. You get the check, no deduction. It's all yours, all 60 million equivalent or 80 million. Well, we were having lineups at our lottery booth, and you could only buy tickets with cash. We didn't take credit cards. We didn't take debit cards. Cash only. This is the early 1980s. And I remember working in the morning as a stockbroker, branch manager, stockbroker, desk trader, whatever I was doing at the time. And I would join Jen at about 11:30 for lunch hour. And I would help her from 11:30 until 1 o'clock. I'd be there for her, so she could get a bite to eat. She could get a bathroom break, and then the two of us would handle the lunch crowd. And then at 1:15, 1:30, I would leave the booth with my briefcase full of cash, the haul from last night and this morning. And I was taking to the bank every lunch hour $6,000 in cash, give or take. 6,000 in 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. All cash. Oh, did we have ones at those days? Maybe we did still have $1 bills. I don't remember. In any event, I would work my way quickly to the nearest bank that we were dealing with, and I would make this deposit. The tellers knew, here he comes. He's the lottery ticket guy. And they would have the counters, the machine counters to count the 10s and 20s. It was unbelievable. Every day, $6,000. And we were never mugged. So we were hauling in like 40, 50,000 a week. And that went up because the lottery got up to $12 million, which was like today, 120 million, 140 million bucks payoff. And it finally got one. And we had lineups all day long. Couldn't believe it. We were getting a 5% commission for every ticket we sold. And it was analog at that time. Just insanity. It was just insane. 50,000 a week in cash coming in. And we were on the third floor, downtown Calgary, in a downtown mall that had our majority of our business Monday to Friday with a little bit on Saturday and very quiet Sundays. And we were hauling in this kind of cash. It was ridiculous. The gambling that was going on, and people talking about, well, what would you do if you won the money? It was a great chat. It was great way for people to meet people in line, because they'd talk to each other to kill the time. What would you do? What would you? Well, I'm part of an office pool, and the secretary would be sent down with $200. Well, I'm part of. There's 10 of us, and we each put in $20 this week because it's $10 million. What would you do? Well, I would get $500,000 with that. What would you do with that? Well, we pay off our mortgage. Well, how much is that? $130,000. 1980s. We still have $370,000 left over. Boy, we'd pay off all our bills and get a new car. We'd still have $300,000 left over. We'd be rich. Those were the days, kids. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the world of the lottery business, where you're the casino. You are the one controlling the lottery machine. Taking the premiums from these saps. It's your job. It's what I want to see you do here. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all for popping through here and hanging in there. Keep on going. Keep on going on. Jen, how are you this morning?
I had to turn the light on.
Oh my God, she had to turn the light on when she woke up. Can you believe it? What is that? It's not fair. We have 140 thumbs ups. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Hit the thumbs up button if you're happy to see Jen here. The question now has been answered 202 times. My investment accounts have done a lot better than the markets because I write options. 63% say yes, 37% saying no at the moment. I have a suspicion if the market were to turn around and go up 800 points later this week, that ratio would go even higher. It would go 80-20, because some of you are biased towards winning if the markets go up, because you're not truly just option writers. You're also investors, and it's okay. I'm fine. Savage of Wall Street, good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. What a beautiful day it is.
Our little island of misfits.
My covered calls making me a nice chunk of change. My cash secured puts are just outside positive, and Redfin is now MTTR 2.0 and really green. Well, how do you like that? Lisa, thank you, GameStop gamblers. You just gave me a 20% profit on a July 34 covered call. Thank you very, very much. Mandu, good morning, Auntie Jen. Giddy up. Giddy up. Welcome everyone to the program. I haven't even had time to read comments. I've been ranting away and yakking and yakking and yakking. I hope I haven't made you mad. I don't want to make you mad. I want to inspire you to help you reach the point where you go, this is what I want. This is what I live for, man. These returns are incredible, Bruce. I can't believe it. Lisa, this Tesla down $20. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. Yep, Tesla 242 down $20.65. Those of you writing calls on Tesla, it's so easy. You buy your calls back that you wrote last week, and you write a new set of calls this week that expire a month from now, 6 weeks from now, out of the money, take more money. Just take it. I don't know how low it's going to go. I don't know. Just keep taking cash off of this sucker. Take the cash. Buy more stock if you want, or buy, run into call credit spreads on Tesla as well. Roll your call credit spreads. Keep it coming in, baby. Keep it coming in. Enjoy the ride. It's coming your way. Giddy up, everyone. Welcome to the party, pal. I think it might be time to just cover our bases here and to be on the safe side. It might be time to honor the powers that be behind this market by just popping up a couple of neat emojis. The Knights of Neat are the ones who call the shots around here. Jen is cranking up a bagel for me as we speak, so there's help coming to the markets if you need an up move. But
The sun is just hitting the tops of the mountains.
the sun is just coming up around here. But it is time to acknowledge the secret, powerful force behind this market that most noobs do not understand. Certainly a lot of...
rabbit?
It's not a wabbit, although there are deadly rabbits out there. There are deadly rabbits out there. If you watch the Search for the Holy Grail, you'll know what I'm talking about. Isn't there also the Bridge of Death? Isn't that what they call it, Jen? The Bridge of Death. If you can't answer certain questions, you're in big trouble. Yeah, there's all kinds of pitfalls and things out there, but the Knights of Neat are the absolute authority here, the absolute power behind this market. Mysterious Knights of Neat. I can't even explain it properly. I can't even say it properly. That's how difficult it is to if you're new here, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Touchgrass knows what I'm talking about. D.H. Ruda knows. James of the Misty Tree, very familiar with the Knights of Neat, as does Richard Boeing Tiger. Larry Titus, of course. Samuel 54 knows. Juan, dude, calls on Tesla, no problem. I'm adding to my cash pile every week. Rock and roll, baby. Hector knows. Neat, says Hector. Corinne, neat. Mando number 5. Neat. Samuel, neat. Splair knows from Dortmund. Neat. You all know what I'm talking. The regulars know. The newbies don't know. The newbies think we're being silly. They have no idea. They have no idea of the risk they're putting their portfolios at if you do not honor the Knights of Neat. And the way to do that is to become a member of this channel. You must be a member of the channel to honor the Knights of Neat. The very people that can help you achieve greatness in your investments are waiting for you. You're only but a gold bagel level membership away from the greatness of this market. But hey, if you want to be a loser, you can be a loser. Losing is free. You can be a loser for nothing. You don't have to do anything to be a loser. To be a winner, well, that's. You know, Jeff is telling you. Look, if you don't believe Jeff, I don't know who are you going to believe if you're not going to believe JR. I mean, what? You're going to believe a market commentator on CNBC? What are you, stupid? You don't believe those people. Tom knows. He's got a picture of a cat. I mean, come on. How credible do you need this information to be? I mean, gosh, Charlie is on the scene, and so is Dude. They're all members. They're all members of this channel. Why are they members of this channel? Because they make money. Why do they make money? Well, they honor the Knights of Me, because that's the first thing you have to figure out around here. Is you acknowledge where the mysterious powers come from that run this market, and you honor them, and you keep them happy. Don't make them mad. What are you, crazy? You don't have enough shrubbery. You don't have enough shrubbery to make them angry. Don't do it. That bridge of death is something else. And then those killer rabbits. Oh, my God. Who would have thought that fuzzy, white, cute little rabbits would be so deadly? No one knew. Well, I'm just a guy in front of a computer telling you that the Knights of Me are your friends, but you better honor them and let them know you understand how powerful they really are. There you go. Anyway, we're down 370, 80 points on the Dow. We were down 500, but there we are. S&P down 100. NASDAQ down 490. The percentage losses, no question, the NASDAQ is taking the hit. 2.7% loss on NASDAQ. 1.76 on S&P, and only 0.9 on the Dow. So the Dow is only down 1/3 the amount that the S&P, that the NASDAQ is down. Sorry, NASDAQ. NASDAQ is 3 times as bad. So the Dow should be down right now 1,200 points to match the NASDAQ sell-off. It's not. Now, will it? It might, but it might not. I don't know. A little of this, a little of that. VIX up 290 now to 26.27. That's negative. That's not good. And oil now is negative 33 cents a barrel at 66.71. So there you go. Okay.
Hit my head again.
Oh, you did on the left,
I mean, it's not a hard
Bagel.
whack or anything, but still.
Gosh darn it, the heck, hitting my head on the dang light. Well, Jen has, as usual, on Monday morning, she's put together the toasted sesame seed bagel covered in grape jelly from Welch's. And cheers to all of you out there. Thank you all so much for being here. Well, let's see if this bagel has any way of affecting the market. I see us down 411 on the Dow and 499 on NASDAQ. Okay. 401 and 499. We'll find out.
Talk curling?
We have not talked curling. No, I've not mentioned the men's curling championships that concluded yesterday in a cliffhanger of a game. Didn't mention anything.
The Alberta team won.
The Alberta boys won. Where we come from, Alberta. Oh my. But I didn't mention it. I didn't mention it. I didn't mention that Alex Ovechkin scored an empty net goal. He's within 8 of Wayne Gretzky now, or something like that.
8.
So he's going to break Gretzky's all-time goal scoring record.
That is ridiculous.
I don't know.
He's supposed to be old.
38.
I know.
The most popular man in Washington is a 38-year-old gray-haired Russian. Are we in strange times? Oh, are we ever in strange times? That's the most popular man in Washington, D.C. right now. A 38-year-old gray-haired Russian hockey player. He is the talk of the town. the only talk of the town, and the hype is only going to build as he gets closer and closer to breaking the all-time goal-scoring record in the National Hockey League. How about that? What can I say? I'm just a guy in front of a computer trying to tell you what's going on out there. And that's what's going on.
Trying to give you a clue of what the market thinks.
Exactly. The Dow is down 405.
I think we give it too much credit that it
You think they what?
thinks. We give it too much credit that it thinks.
That the market
I
thinks.
think the market, well, of course, the market reacts, and it's that thing of birds, that wonderful word I forgot of it, that they flow together without anybody seeming to be a leader. That's kind of the market.
Fear and greed. Yeah.
Now I have to look at it. Such
Volatility.
good.
We're down 380 on the Dow. We're down 512 on NASDAQ. Kind of where we were when I started this bagel. I'm just starting the second piece of 2 of 4. Sorry. Yeah, here we are. Thank you, everybody. Savage Wall Street. Anyone looking for opportunity would be wise to look at the RXRX $6 cash secured puts that expire April 17. Those are 60 cents right now. The ask is 70 and get more than 10% for a month. Thank you. May I have another? So you write a 60-cent contract for a $600 entry fee. You need $600 to write a cash secured put. Willing to buy the stock back at $6 less the 60 cents, which is $5.40. And are you willing to take a shot on the RXRX stock? Well, RXRX, again, I'm just mentioning it. Is it now what? $6.19 a share is what it's trading at? RXRX? Yeah. So if it stays up here, there you go. You won't have to buy it. I don't know. You want to do that? I don't know. 52-week low, 560. The 52-week high, 1236. 24.5% short position on that stock. Wow. 305 million out, 75 million shorted, 619 right now. And you can write the $6 cash ticket put and get paid 60 cents for 1 month. Interesting. The contract dies worthless. You just made 10% on your money. You buy it back for 30 cents, you made 5% on your money for a month. Well, that's like selling a lottery ticket. 5% commission on this thing. That's revealing. Okay. Welcome, everybody. We got some stocks on sale. No question about that. Rocket Lab down 129 at 17.51. SoFi down 79 at 11.80. We got GameStop down 97 cents to 23.03. 23andMe, believe it or not, is actually up to 170, up 21 cents. Don't know what to get excited about there. Spire down 40 cents at 10.06. What else is going on here? Smart Rent, 122.5 cents. Nothing going on. The Magnificent Seven, all red. Apple down 9.19. Tesla down $20.50 at 2.42. Microsoft down $7. Google down $6.94. Amazon down $6.06. Nvidia only down $3.40 at 109.20. And Facebook down $23.40 to $6.02. High of the year for Facebook, $7.41. It's now $6.02. That's $139 drop. That is more than 20%. Nvidia, 153 for its high, trading at 109. Amazon, 52-week high, 242.5 at 193.5 now. That's a $49 drop. That's 20%. Google from 208 for the high down to 168. That is a $40 drop on a 208 stock. That's almost 20%. Microsoft 468 for its high, now at 386. That is $82. That is approaching 19% off. Tesla, $488 high, trading at 240. That is 50% off. Apple, 260 for its high, 52-week high, 260. Now at 229. Let's round it up to 230. We're off $30 on Apple, which is actually the best performing Mag 7 stock from what I can see here. Not bad. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, other stocks. Super Micro up 49 cents. AST is down 279 at 30.61. AI is down $1.03 at 21.50. Palantir down 587 at 79.04. MicroStrategy off a healthy 37.89 a share, 13% today, 249 on MicroStrategy. Unity down 194. Goldman Sachs taking a 21.90 hit today. High of the year, 52-week high, 672. Now at 537. That's a $140, $135 haircut on a $670 high. That's 20% off on Goldman. Cisco Systems, high of the year, 66.50, trading at 63.50, actually doing very well, only down 37 cents. Spiders, the high for the Spiders, $613. They're trading at 566. So that's $47 off the high, which is approaching 15%. Very interesting. That, of course, reflects the S&P 500. Netflix down $24, $866. The high of the year, $1,064. It's a $200 haircut, almost 20%, just like the Mag 7. Pfizer, high, $31.54. Where is it? $27.21. Doing well. It's only out $4, about 15%. Triple Q's down $13 at 478, high of 540. So that's $62 drop on the Q's, which actually is only around 12-13%. So that's why NASDAQ is dropping more today than anyone else, because it's done better. It's now catching up, though. ARC Innovations, $49.08. The high of the year, $68. That's a $20, $19 haircut. That is coming up to 30%. IBM, the high of the year, 266, is trading at 263. See, dividend keeps it up there. Interesting. It's not a great dividend. It's just still a dividend. Okay. Uber, high of the year, $87, trading at 72.68. $14 drop, 14%. HPQ, high of the year, $39.79, trading at $30, down $9.79. 30% drop on HPQ. Home Depot, $439, high of the year, trading at $377. Well, that's $63 off, $62 off, 15%. Vanik Semiconductors, trading at $217 a share, or a ETF, that's a unit, $217 versus the high of $283. So that is a hit. What's that, $63? $66? Yeah, almost 30%. Adobe, down $850 today at $440. The high for the year, $587. $146 drop. Not quite 30%. Enphase, $64.80. It's actually up $3. But 52-week high, $141. Oh boy, man. It was a $76 drop, more than 50%. Amazing. That's the story right now. So some are out, definitely exceeding others. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it right now, everybody. Welcome to the program. I'm glad you're here. See what happens as the day continues on. Welcome all to the program. Savage of Wall Street says, Uncle Bruce, you got all that right, except I mentioned for the Bagel Gang to ask for 70 cents. We stink bit around here, baby. Be forced to buy RXRX, a great company, for $5.30, lower than the 52-week low right there. Pukebird, Uncle Bruce, what do you think about the theory that Trump and his buddies are crashing the markets on purpose? I don't know. I think despite themselves, they're doing it. They're so full of their philosophy of greatness, and that everyone will bow to their needs and wants. That's the end of that. Savage Wall Street. Short position RXRX has been as high as 30%, and the shorts keep getting burned. My cover calls have been making me a nice penny, and the cash reports, as soon as the sign, I'll write for 20% more than the cost all day long. There you go. There it is. Savage has got his favorite there. RXRX. Well. There's a headline in the Barron's. It says Tesla stock drops again as analyst sees a serious sales slowdown. There you go. Corinne says that that in the Fidelity ETF that pays interest, that SPAXX is the symbol, it's decreased now to a 3.99% yield at the moment. Okay, Savage Wall Street, SoFi under $12. Oh my God, what a bargain down there. 1182 on good old SoFi, a 77-cent drop at the moment. The low of the day, 1174. We've already been lower. 11 million traded, very light volume so far this morning. We should be getting news soon for their annual meeting. Should be getting that. And we'll hear all about it. Of course, in 21 days, 3 weeks from today, the end of the first quarter. This is March 10th. 31 days this month. So in 3 weeks, SoFi, it finishes the first quarter of the year. The question is, how did they do in the first quarter? I ask the same question all the time. How much better did SoFi do in the first quarter than they were predicted to do? That's actually what I'm wondering about. And will the stock begin a rally starting 3 weeks from now, knowing that they will release those financials for the first quarter by the end of April, roughly? Or we'll be following that. Savage Wall Street, SoFi $10 cash ticket puts expiring in 2026 are 175, 17.5% back for stashing your money under the SoFi mattress. I love free money. Dude, Trump might be trying to drive the interest rates down and fix the yield curve. He used to say he wanted lower interest rates, so it might be the quickest way to make that happen in cash short term. Don't read too much into his ability to understand any of this stuff. You're fooling yourself. Anyway. Unintended consequences, whatever. Beat Dizzle, hey, I just did 20 put credit spreads that expire April 17 on GameStop. I'm doing the 18s and 19s. The stock is $23, so I'm doing 18, 19 put credit spreads. That's $1. I just got 20 cents. So I'm putting up $100 per position, and I'm getting $20 back. He did 20, so he's using $2,000. Got his hands on $400 to commit $2,000 to this trade. 18, 19s. As long as GameStop stays over $19 a share, these are worthless, and he will keep a 20% return on his money from now until April the 17th, 5 weeks. And B-Tizzle, I have a suspicion that once you're down to a nickel or less, you might just run away and close it out, and then take a new 5-week spread and do it again. Well done indeed. Mm, mm, mm. Lisa, I just made 40% profit from a May 16th SoFi call, $18 call. Giddy up. My bagel is done. I've done all I could. Now the question is, will the fact that I had a toasted sesame seed bagel with grape jelly put on it by Antigen, will this move markets? That is the question we're wondering now. We'll focus in on this. We're down 305 on the Dow. I thought we were down 400 on the Dow. But NASDAQ's still down 515. So NASDAQ is down 2.8%, where the Dow is down 0.7%. So actually the Dow's improving. NASDAQ is still deteriorating or holding the losses. B-Tizzle, I've already set a good till cancel order to buy them back for a nickel. I'm reading you, aren't I? I read you like an open book, don't I, B-Tizzle? Well done. Smart move. I'm hoping that what B-Tizzle has been able to do is to put in an open buy order to close out the trade with a nickel spread and let the computer do it for him. In other words, he's willing to close out the credit spread as long as the spread is down to 5 cents. And however the trades get done, which one he sells versus which one he buys up, will average out to a nickel spread. It's done for him. Great. That's the easy way, easy peasy of making money around here. Set it and forget it. Giddy on up. Keep your eye on it on the corner of your eye, and take in $300 from a $400 trade. And if it happens this week, it happens next week. Thank you. I just made 15% of my money in like a week. Where can you get that kind of money? And that's okay. That's very, very okay. I like these 18, 19 put credit spreads on GameStop. I love NVIDIA call credit spreads ahead of the market, whether it's $1, $2, $5 spreads, tens, wherever the range has to be, depending on how much cash you want to put together. Can you get a 10, 12% return on NVIDIA? Can you get better than that? Can you get 10 to 15 or 20%, anywhere in that neighborhood? 10 to 20% return on call credit spreads on any of the Magnificent Sevens for 6 weeks or less. Are they handing that kind of money to you to take the trade? I'd be looking at that very carefully. Again, way out of the money. A dude is saying, I'm just having fun speculating here, Uncle Bruce. It's all good. BT, so these good till cancel orders get filled right at the open a lot whenever volatility is high. Sometimes just a few at a time, but I'm in no hurry. There you go. 3 or 4 get filled. You write another set of put spreads, 3 or 4 down the road for another 20% return. Thank you, sir. May I have another? And as one unwinds, you create more of the other one. Oh, you're always writing, always making money, getting richer. Yes. I like this game. I think some of you are really liking this game, and you should. You're being well rewarded for your efforts. Just making $300 on this trade, if B Tizzle sets this up, that pays for 1.5 lessons right there. He'll be doing this for the rest of his life. There you go. Thank you. And thank you, B Tizzle, for filling us in on how you do it. Keeps everyone guessing and engaged and gets people excited and makes people wonder. $2,000. That's all he needs? I thought I needed $100,000 to do option writing. I thought I needed at least $10,000 a trade to do option writing. He's doing 20 credit spread trades for $2,000. That's his total risk less the $400 he got. He's actually risking $1,600 to make $400. That's the trade? This is like operating a lottery machine in a variety store. I mean, this is so simple. Yes, it's legal. You're allowed to do it. You can do this with 100 at a time. Look, if you got 10 grand, you can do 100 of these put credit spreads, and you'll haul in $2,000 in credit, 20% on your money. What begins to happen around this channel here with my viewers is not how much money per trade they are getting. That's not the issue. It's not like, oh, I'm getting $400 or I'm getting $600 in credit or I'm getting $250 in credit. I'm getting $1,800 in credit. Of course, you think about that, but that's not the big picture. The big thing you think about is the percentage return on your money. That's what you think about. You look at these credit spreads and go, oh, wow, this is a 20% return into my hot little hands up front, right now, in cash. I get it. I get that money right now, and I hold on to it. And how much do I give back? That's what you ask yourself. And B-Tissel is going, well, I just hauled in $400, 20%. I'll give back a nickel. If this trade goes down where it's a nickel spread, I'll be taken out automatically by my app, my online broker. Set it and forget it. It's like cruise control. I'm busy in a meeting and I had to go, the garage door's not working properly, the toilet is backing up and I got the plunger going. In the meantime, the stock's doing whatever it's doing and all of a sudden, you're out. You bought them, you closed your position with a nickel spread. You get back to you, wash your hands and clean up and you come back and look at your quote and go, oh my God, I bought them back for a nickel. I just made $300. I made 15% return on my money. That's what B-Tizzle is thinking. 15% of my money. I love this game. So now you got $5,000 in play, 20% on $5,000, $1,000. 15% clear, $750. You got $30,000, 20%, 6 G's. 15% net out of the $6,000, $4,500 to you. It's just money. It's just numbers. It's nothing personal. It's business. This is what these viewers are doing here. These are what my viewers are doing all the time. They're scouring the options chains. They figured out by taking the lessons from this website down here. They've learned how options work, how they die, how they get created, why they do what they do, who plays them, how they trade, how to write them, how to put credit spreads together, what are stink bids and stink offers, what's the 90-10 rule, what do all these terms mean, the psychology of the market, the opposite side of your trade. You're going to learn, if you grab these lessons, you're going to learn stuff like that. You're going to understand who you're competing against. And you're going to understand why is it that when you write this contract, you're going to sit back and go, oh my God, I can't believe I just got this. I just can't believe they just gave me 20% on my money to do these 20 contracts. This is insanity. This is ridiculous. But the other side of this trade, I don't know what they were thinking, but for me, doing a put credit spread on GameStop with $18, $19 contracts, I'm going to make money. I'm pretty darn sure I'm going to make money. But hey, unless you know what you're doing, you're not going to get it. It's not going to sink into you. So step up and grab the classes, kids, and join the party here. Thank you, everyone, for being here yet again today. Thank you so much for following this YouTuber with his tiny little channel, with his diehard group of followers. You guys, for every one of you that are here, there are thousands of you, more of you, who should be here. They don't know where we exist. They have never heard of the channel, never heard of the idea of writing options to make money, never thought that with a couple of $1,000 I could bring in a 20% return on a credit spread. I thought you needed 20 grand to do that. Unbelievable. Those of you making millions a year, making hundreds of thousands a month, making tens of thousands a week, congratulations. You deserve all of it and more. And you know you're going to get it because it just keeps coming in. Keep taking the dough. Don't worry about the fluctuations of this market. Don't be surprised if during the day today we have a rally and we come a long way back from these lows. It's the game that you're in. If you're sitting on a cash balance, you're doing it right. In my humble opinion, you are nailing it, and you deserve all the profits you make. Thank you again to those of you who are kind enough, diligent enough. You don't need prodding from me to get me a thumbs ups. Thank you all. 158 have come in so far. I really appreciate the thumbs up. If you can hit this thumbs up button, even if you're watching on the rerun, thank you again for all of you for that. Also, 220 people have answered the question of the day, and I appreciate that. Whether you answer yes or no, I don't care. I want engagement badly. I'd love to see your thought on it. The question today, or the comment today, was my investment accounts have done a lot better than the markets because I write options. That's the question of the day. Put your comment in there, put your guess in there, put your answer in there. Let the world know what your thoughts are. Every response that comes in there, 221 and counting, adds engagement impressions in headquarters of YouTube. The YouTube computers want to know, does this guy do poll questions? Does he have an active engagement with his audience? If so, we'll promote this guy's channel. We'll tell more people about him. If he's got the thumbs up numbers and he's got the poll question engagement and people talk to him on his contacts, what about his memberships? Has he got a high membership ratio based on his viewership? That also entices YouTube to promote this channel. And I thank all of you, however you help me out. I know you do it all. Some of you do I'm a Gold Bagel member. I answer his poll questions. I hit the knee emojis all the time. I hit the thumbs up button all the time. We talk back and forth. I love this guy. Thank you for all of that. If that's all it is you do, I love you. You're just helping us so much. Keeping Jen and I alive, we appreciate it. All right. I got to go. Have a great rest of your day today. We'll keep an eye on this market from the sidelines here. And get richer, please. And thank you so much for being in with me today. We have 160 plus thumbs ups now coming through. Thank you for that. Keep them rolling, guys. 161, 39 away from 200. I will be watching the market from here, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. If you're a Gold Bagel member, 8:30 if you're not, and become a Gold Bagel member. Don't forget, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, prime time live with Uncle Bruce. Okay, guys? Thank you. All right, that's it for me. Jen and I are going to say our goodbyes to you now, and we wish you good hunting and take the dollars from the gamblers. Just grab this money. This is really, really good stuff. Thank you, everyone, for popping through here. All right, guys, that's it from Jen and I, and we're going to say our goodbyes to you in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Goodbye.